Hi, in this session we are going to discuss about payable document sequences. So first try to understand what is the concept and then what are the setups required, and we will see one transaction, right? So payable document sequence. So in payable application, the main documents that we have are AP invoice and AP payments. And we are trying to associate a sequence for the document. So ideally, we already have you may think that we have already sequences, maybe invoice number and payment number. Then what is the need for a different sequence or unique identifier? So if you see the scenarios, right, if you see this example or use cases, you may receive payable invoices from two different suppliers with exactly the same invoice number. Invoice number is not a unique key or a unique number in AP. Two invoices can have same invoice number. So in such scenarios, if you want to have some unique number which can be displayed in the front end, like maybe if you go technically, there will be invoice header ID, which is a unique number. But for business or users perspective, that doesn't make any sense. So we call it voucher number, which will be a unique identifier for a document. So we will be associating unique document sequences uh, which identifies a document uniquely. This we can do it for AP invoices, AP payments. Similarly, in AR we can do it for AR transactions or AR invoices and AR receipts. Let's try to understand the flow of document sequences. For payables, first we will create a document sequence category. After that, we create a sequence and assign the category to this sequence. In the step 1, we create a document sequence category. The step 2, we create a sequence and associate that sequence to the category that we created in the step 1. And when we are creating a document, maybe AP invoice or AP payment, we choose the document category. There will be a field in the AP invoice page or AP payments saying with the name document category. We will select the value that we have created in the step 1, and that internally looks the sequence and it derives the voucher number or sequence number that will be populated in the voucher number field in the document. So this is the sequence of steps how it works, and few observations. A sequence can be shared across multiple categories. Different sequences can also be used for different categories. And if we come to sequences, there are three types of sequences. Manual sequence. For a document category, if you associate a manual sequence in when entering the document, let's say AP invoice, if you select a document category for which a manual sequence is associated, then voucher number won't be populated automatically. User has to enter a unique number. If you enter a duplicate number which is already available in the system, and if you try to save the AP invoice, system will throw us a message saying that this number is already used. If the sequence is automatic, then in the AP invoice document, we will just select the document category, and when we save the document, it will automatically generate a unique sequence. And third one is gapless. That gapless is also automatic sequencing, but the difference is if for some reason if the document is not saved because of some other issues, then it will not go to the next sequence. It will create the sequence will be gapless. It will create a number provided the invoice is successfully saved. so that there won't be gaps in the voucher number that's getting created. So we understood the concept. Now we'll move on to the setups, how we do this, how we implement this. So what we are going to do is, first we'll try to create a invoice header and verify that this document category field is there in the document in the invoice header, and this is not a mandatory field presently before implementing this document sequencing functionality. After that, we will enable the functionality in the specify ledger options, and then we will create a document sequence category, and then we will create a document sequence and associate that with the category. In the step 4, we will create an invoice again, and we'll verify that document category is a mandatory field now, and we will select the document category that we created in the previous step, and we'll see that and save the document, and we'll see that voucher number is getting populated. Let's go to the instance and we'll do these steps one after another. So we will implement this. We'll keep this thing simple. We will implement this functionality for AP invoice document. The same thing can be done for AP payments also. First, I'll try to create an invoice. The instance is slow. Uh, Let me reopen the instance. I have navigated to the invoice page. Let's try to create an invoice for US1 business unit. If you click on show more, navigate to accounting tab. Here there is a document category field which is not mandatory. So it is not mandatory as document sequencing functionality is not enabled for this particular specific business unit or legal entity or ledger for the payables application. So this is the first observation. As this functionality is not enabled, we are seeing this field as grayed out and it is non-mandatory. Now we will enable this functionality, and then we will create one more invoice transaction. So next, now we'll enable the functionality. Let's navigate to specify ledger options task. Let me query for specify ledger options. we are in US primary ledger, as we are doing our invoice in going to do invoice in US1 business unit. Associated primary ledger is US primary ledger. So I have selected scope as US primary ledger. If we scroll down, there is a section sequencing. Right now it is says no sequencing. That is the reason in the AP invoice document category field is grayed out and not enabled, and it is not mandatory. I'm making it to a legal entity. So this sequencing we can enable at legal entity level or ledger level. Let's say if we enable it at legal entity, US primary ledger can have multiple legal entities under it. If enable it legal entity, we are further narrowing down the scope of the sequencing. Uh, if it is ledger level, that will be even at broader, higher level scope. We are enabling it for legal entity level and enforce document sequencing. If we check it, then the document category field in the AP invoice document and AP payment document will be enabled, and it will become mandatory as we are enforcing the document sequencing. And enforce chronological order and document account date, we can enable this as well. So if this is done, it stops older payments. There are some implications of it. Let's not get into that, but yeah, we will discuss it later. I am enabling checking it as well, and save and close. The next step is we are going to create a document sequence category. Yeah, it is not showing here. So let's go here and let's search the tasks. Manage document sequence categories. Here I'm searching with payables module. We are going to create two document sequences. One is for invoices and another is for payments. Let's implement for both invoice and payment documents. I'm going to create two categories, document sequence categories. Model is payables. And the table name is AP invoices all. Similarly, I'm going to create one more document category for invoice payments, invoice payments. It table is AP checks all for payments. Save and close. Now we are going to create a sequence and associate that sequence with the documents that we have created now. Manage document sequences. So we are going to create a new sequence. I'll name it as SM invoice sequence. Application is going to be payables. I'm keeping it gapless and we are making it at legal entity level. Start date is today's date. And for this sequence, we will associate this sequence to the category that we have created for AP invoices. Method, I'm keeping it blank so that it works either manual or automatic for both the approaches. And legal entity is US1 legal entity. Save and close. Similarly, let's create one more sequence for payments. And associate it with the category that we have created. We will keep the method blank. Today's date. And here we can adjust the sequence start date, start number. For the other sequence, it was, I'll make it like 3000, 30,000. Save, save and close. Done. So coming back to the steps, we have done the step 3 as well, document sequences. Now we'll go to the step 4. We'll try to create a invoice header and see whether the document category became mandatory or not. And we'll select a document category and we'll see that whether it is populating the voucher number or not. And if we click on show more, document category has become a mandatory field as we have enabled document sequencing at primary ledger level. for legal entity. It is showing the two document categories that we have created. There are other as well, but we'll SM invoice is the one that we have created. We'll take that and let's create the lines. And if you see voucher number is right now blank, it will be populated once we save the invoice. Okay. Validate the invoice. If you see the information, the document sequence SM invoice SEQ was used to assign the voucher number 1. For this sequence, we didn't update the starting sequence number, so it took 1 hash by default and it is defaulted that. If we navigate to accounting tab, we can see voucher number populated as 1. Let's adjust the amount, invoice amount. Yeah. So invoice has been validated. Let's account it and then we'll do the payment. Accounting has been created. Yeah, let us do the payment now. Create payment for US1 business unit. Staples. Disbursement bank account. Okay, so now it is giving us some additional tasks. No document category exists for the selected payment document or payment method. So let us go to the bank account level and assign the document category there. I'm navigating to manage bank accounts. It is not showing the bank account. Let us search with Bank of America. Let us do with bank name. Let me check this and come back in the interest of time. Yeah, I have done required setups to show the bank accounts. I have added cash manager role and given the access to the legal entity, US1 legal entity, but still it's not coming up. So I'll take a pass on this video. Right now we have checked how to define the document sequence for payables, for invoice object and payments object, and we have executed it successfully for invoice. But for payables, when we are making a payment and verifying the voucher number being coming, we are facing some issue where a setup is missing at bank account level for the payment document. Right now, due to some access issue, I'm not able to see that. I'll figure it out in the next video and I'll show you. Yeah, thank you.